Have you ever felt like an invisible bond still connects you to someone, even when time and distance suggest it should be over? There are connections that defy logic, that remain quietly alive even when everything around seems to have changed. Today, the angels want to remind you of something profound. There is a thread between you and this person, and it hasn't been cut yet. You may not see this thread, but in moments of silence, longing, or intuition, you can feel it vibrating. This bond is not a product of your imagination. The angels show that there is something sacred and unresolved between you. It doesn't matter if contact has ceased, if your paths have diverged, or if words were left unspoken. What you felt between you left deep roots, and these roots continue to nourish a connection that is far from over. It's as if a part of you instinctively knows that there is still something to experience, understand, or transform. There are people who pass through our lives like a gentle breeze, almost unnoticed. But then there are others who arrive like a silent storm and leave marks that time cannot erase. This person is one of those rare presences, intertwined with your story in a way that's not always easy to explain. The angels say that even if logic tries to deny it, the soul recognizes and insists on remembering. It's possible you've tried to forget, turn the page, convince yourself it was just a beautiful chapter that has closed. But if you're honest with yourself, you'll admit, at certain moments, without warning, this person reappears in your mind. It could be through a song, a dream, or a feeling that comes out of nowhere. These are signs. Small reminders from the universe that this story is not yet completely over. The angels whisper that there is a reason this thread has not been cut. There is something you both still need to understand together, or at least, a cycle that needs to be truly closed. Sometimes it's not about reconnecting, but about acknowledging the impact the other person has had on your life, and allowing that recognition to bring peace. Other times, it's about a reconnection that will only be possible when both are ready to see what they didn't notice before. Do you feel that this connection is different from the others? It really is. It came to teach you something essential about love, surrender, forgiveness, or healing. And the angels show that this person, no matter how hard they try to distract themselves or move on, also feels this presence. They may not understand, they may fight against it, but on some level they know there's still a bond between you. And this bond is sustained not just by memories, but by energy, by everything that has been lived, felt, desired, by what has been left open. Time may have passed, but there are feelings that remain tucked away, waiting for the right moment to emerge. The angels say that this person's soul is calling you, even in silence. And the most beautiful part is that deep down, you feel that call too. So take a deep breath and embrace this truth gently. Not to cling, but to understand. Because there is wisdom in recognizing that certain threads do not break with distance. They remain, soft and invisible, connecting two hearts that, in some way, still have something to say to each other. And the angels are here to guide this reunion, whether it be external, internal, or spiritual. When angels speak of invisible threads, they're not talking about fantasy, but about a profound energetic reality. Every genuine emotion, every moment of shared vulnerability, creates a bridge between souls. This bridge doesn't fade just because paths have changed or because there has been silence. It remains there, intact, sustained by everything that was felt with sincerity. And this is what still connects you to this person, the emotional truth that you both experienced. The thread that still exists is neither a mistake nor a punishment. It's an opportunity. A chance to look within and acknowledge how much this connection has transformed you. Sometimes, the other person doesn't return in the way we expect, but they return in other forms, through lessons learned, through healing, through liberation. The angels are showing that this story has more layers than you imagine, and each layer is a key to your growth. It's possible that this person is feeling a similar restlessness. Something inside them won't let them forget. It provokes memories at the most unexpected moments. Even if they go on with life, occupying themselves with other things, there's a silent part, almost spiritual, that keeps returning to you. And this doesn't happen by chance. It's a sign that an energetic bond exists, a shared lesson that still pulses between you. You might wonder, why are the angels showing me this now? The answer is simple and profound, because it's time to look at this connection with spiritual maturity. It's time to embrace what still exists, not with attachment, but with awareness. To understand that this thread can be a portal to healing, not just a painful memory. Sometimes, recognizing that the bond still exists is the first step toward truly freeing yourself, or starting anew from a different place. Often, what prevents a reconnection isn't the lack of feelings, but rather fear. Fear of getting hurt, of opening up again, of repeating old patterns. And the angels see this. Both you and that person carry old wounds that perhaps have never been spoken aloud. Yet, they remain, echoing. The thread between you also carries these pains, these unexplained pauses. That's why the angels say, it takes courage to see what still exists and to give new meaning to it. If you feel deep in your soul that this story still has something to reveal, embrace that feeling with care. It doesn't mean you need to chase after it or make immediate decisions. It simply means that something subtle is asking for your attention. It could be an unfinished conversation, a misunderstood emotion, or forgiveness that hasn't yet been offered. The angels are guiding you to view this thread not as a prison, but as a message. Even if this person never says it aloud, their heart recognizes the impact you've had. That's why they feel your absence as a constant presence. They might not know how to approach you, or they may have convinced themselves that it's too late. But spiritual time doesn't work like clock time. The angels show that movement is still possible. There remains an energetic field pulsating between you, asking for attention, asking for light. So, allow yourself to feel everything that needs to be felt. This connection, even with its pauses and silences, still holds life. And whatever is true will find a way to manifest, whether through reconciliation or a deeper understanding of what you've experienced together. The angels are here, holding your hand, reminding you, this thread still exists for a reason. And you are ready to discover what it has to reveal to you. The angels want you to know, this thread that still connects you to that person is not a punishment but a bridge of transformation. It's as if the universe has left a window slightly open between two worlds, yours and hers, and no matter how much time has passed, the wind still blows through that crack. The breeze may bring nostalgia, it may bring pain, but it can also bring understanding. And it's this understanding that begins to blossom now, with your permission. Perhaps you have tried to move on many times, yet something always pulled you back. Not to the past itself, but to a feeling that was never fully resolved. It's like there's a silent question echoing in your heart, why do I still think about this? The answer, the angels say, lies not in attachment but in the soul. Because when two souls connect so intensely, even briefly, they leave traces that beg to be honored. This connection doesn't need to make sense to others. It may be that no one understands what you both experienced or what you still feel. And that's okay. Not everything sacred is visible to the eyes. The angels see beyond what has been said, beyond what has been lived. They perceive the potential that still exists in this connection, whether to reconnect or to release it with truth and gratitude. And all of this begins within you, the moment you decide to look at this thread with courage. The truth is that many people pass through our lives, but few remain within our energy. And when they do stay, even in silence, it's because something in them resonates with something in us that still needs to be illuminated. This person may have been a mirror, a wake-up call, a love that showed you parts of yourself that you had never seen. And that's why they still live within you, even if they're not physically present. Angels show that this person also feels that connection. Even if they try to ignore it, distract themselves, or pretend they've forgotten, there are moments when everything comes rushing back. A scent in the air, a memory, a name heard by chance. And suddenly, you invade their thoughts like a wave. They may resist, rationalize, deny, but the soul knows. The soul recognizes when something hasn't been resolved, when love still exists, or at least an uncompleted lesson. You don't need to chase anything. This isn't a call to act in the outside world, but to reconnect with your own inner truth. The angels are asking you to feel, understand, and release, not the person, but the weight that this connection still carries within you. Because the more you illuminate your own heart, the clearer you will be about what this connection represents, and what it can still transform in your life. Perhaps the reunion between you won't be immediate. It may never happen the way you envisioned. But the angels affirm, every connection that holds truth returns to its source, sooner or later. It could be in an unexpected conversation, in a simple gesture, or even in a dream. What matters is that you are ready to embrace whatever comes, without rigid expectations, but with an open and wise heart. So today, just breathe. Bring this presence to your awareness. Feel this connection not as a burden, but as a channel of healing. Mentally thank for everything that has been experienced, even if it was confusing or painful. The angels are here, around you, wrapping this connection in light. And they whisper in your ear, there is still something between you, and soon the universe will show you why. Today, the angels invite you to take a step further, not just to recognize the thread between you, but to understand what it wants to teach you. Because no spiritual bond is left without purpose. This person emerged in your life to show you something, about love, about yourself, about how it's possible to feel so deeply even amidst uncertainty. And now, with maturity and acceptance, you are ready to receive the message behind this connection. This story, even with pauses, silences, and perhaps hurts, is a milestone in your journey. How many times have you grown because of it? How many tears have taught you about strength? How many memories have shown you that you are capable of loving intensely? The angels say that you are not weak for feeling too much, on the contrary. It was precisely your capacity to feel that awakened something precious, in you and in the other person. You may not have had all the answers, but you had the experience. And experiences like this do not go by in vain. They leave wisdom, leave scars that shine over time. The angels now show you a scene, two hearts, distant in time and space, yet still connected by a golden thread, subtle and delicate. This thread does not bind, does not limit. It simply exists, as a reminder of what was true. Sometimes, life needs to separate two people so they can find themselves before they find each other again. And perhaps this is the time you find yourself in now, the time to turn inward, to strengthen yourself, to heal completely. Not to wait, but to be whole, with or without this reunion. Because when you become light on your own, everything that still resonates with your soul will find its way to you. The angels want you to know that nothing has been in vain. Every unanswered message, every silence, every postponed reunion, everything has a greater reason. Sometimes, the connection remains, but it changes form. It can turn into inspiration, strength, or simply a memory that makes you smile instead of hurt. Other times, it resurfaces as a new chance, but now at a different time, with a different maturity. And both will know, without a doubt, that it is the right moment. Maybe this person is already feeling it too. A sudden urge to know how you're doing, a strange dream that insists on repeating your name, a feeling that something needs to be said. And if that moment arrives, you will be ready. Not to seek guarantees, but to speak with honesty. The angels are preparing you for this, for the lightness that comes when you choose love, even if it doesn't come with promises, but with presence. Now, look at yourself with tenderness. You've navigated through so many feelings, carried so many questions in your heart, and yet you've remained with a sensitive heart. That is strength. That is beauty. And the angels honor you for that. They say that it doesn't matter how this story ends. You will emerge from it with more light, more awareness, more self-love. Because that's what this connection has come to provoke, a deep awakening of your essence. Finally, trust. If this thread hasn't been cut yet, it's because it still has something to deliver to you. It's not about a fixed destiny, but about divine possibilities that present themselves when there is surrender and faith. Keep walking with your heart wide open. The angels are guiding you. And if this bond is meant to blossom again, it will be with more truth, more healing, more reciprocity. Because now, you are ready to experience love as it truly deserves to be lived.